हेलो फ्रेंड्स, वेलकम टू मनु लॉ क्लासेस। आई एम गौतम दीक्षित। आज के वीडियो में हम यूनियन बजट 2022-23 डिस्कस करेंगे, जो फरवरी 1 2022 को हमारे यूनियन फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर मिस निर्मला सीतारमन ने लोकसभा में प्रेजेंट किया था। दिस यूनियन बजट इज़ फॉर द नेक्स्ट फाइनेंशियल ईयर, दैट इज़ 2022-23, which will start from 1st April 2022 and which will end on March 31st 2023. That's why the name is 2022-23. यूनियन बजट जो होता है माय फ्रेंड्स, वो एक फिजिकल पॉलिसी का पार्ट होता है। देयर आर टू टाइप ऑफ पॉलिसीज व्हेन एवर वी स्टडी अबाउट इकोनॉमिक्स। वी हैव टू पॉलिसीज, one is monetary policy, the next is fiscal policy. So monetary policy is the policy which is implemented by the central bank, that is in India it is Reserve Bank of India, and the fiscal policies are those policies, those economic policies which are implemented by the sovereign government. So now इस वीडियो का जो पूरा स्ट्रक्चर है वो इस तरीके से है कि फर्स्ट वी विल स्टडी अबाउट द इम्पॉर्टेंट कंपोनेंट्स ऑफ द यूनियन बजट, इम्पॉर्टेंट अनाउंसमेंट्स मेड इन द यूनियन बजट, उसका ओवरऑल रैमिफिकेशन क्या होगा इकोनॉमी पे। जो इस यूनियन बजट का जो सेंट्रल थीम है, वाई देयर इज़ अ फोकस ऑन कैपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर विच हैज़ बीन अकाउंटेड टू अबाउट 7.5% अराउंड, और जो फिजिकल कंसोलिडेशन है उसको 6.4% पे पैक किया गया है। अर्लियर इट वाज 6.9%, उसको पैक किया गया है 6.4% पे। जो कैपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर है उसको यहाँ पे एक सेंट्रल थीम माना गया है टू रिवाइव द इकोनॉमी एंड टू मेक इंडियन इकोनॉमी $5 ट्रिलियन इकोनॉमी। सो लेट्स स्टार्ट द वीडियो। So before we start the video, we have to study Article 112 of the Constitution of India. So friends, जो आर्टिकल 112 है हमारे कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ इंडिया में, उसमें बजट नाम का कोई भी चीज़ मेंशन नहीं है। इनफैक्ट जो टर्म यूज़ होता है इंस्टेड ऑफ बजट, दैट इज़ एनुअल फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट। सो आर्टिकल 112 says that the annual financial statement, it is a statement of estimated receipt and expenditure of the government of India in a given financial year. उसके बाद इस एनुअल फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट में क्या क्या होना चाहिए। सो इस एनुअल फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट में the estimated receipt, revenue receipts and capital receipts of the government, then the ways and means the government will adopt to raise that revenue for the coming financial year, then estimated expenditure in the coming financial year। उसके बाद एक्चुअल रेवेन्यू कितना था गवर्नमेंट का, एक्चुअल एक्सपेंडिचर कौन सा कितना था इन द क्लोजिंग फाइनेंशियल ईयर, वो होना चाहिए। एंड इकोनॉमिक पॉलिसीज विच गवर्नमेंट इज गोइंग टू फॉलो इन द नेक्स्ट फाइनेंशियल ईयर। उसके बाद जब हम बजट की बात करते हैं तो यहाँ पे हम देखेंगे कि जो कंसोलिडेटेड फंड ऑफ इंडिया होता है उससे दो तरीके से एक्सपेंडिचर किया जाता है। एक होता है एक्सपेंडिचर चार्ज्ड अपॉन द कंसोलिडेटेड फंड ऑफ इंडिया। अब what is the meaning of this expenditure charged upon the consolidated fund of India? So if you will just see that there has been in Constitution of India, it has been written that money cannot be withdrawn from the consolidated fund of India until the appropriation bill has been passed. So for the government to get the money from the consolidated fund of India, it has to get passed the appropriation bill. Now once this appropriation bill has been passed by the Lok Sabha, then the money can be withdrawn by the government. So such withdrawal of money is called as expenditure made from the consolidated fund of India. Now the expenditures which are charged upon the consolidated fund of India, these are those expenditures which are not voted by the parliament. So that's why it is called as expenditure charged upon the consolidated fund of India. नाउ फ्रेंड्स, द नेक्स्ट इज द गोल ऑफ अमृतकाल। तो बजट में जो है स्टेप बाय स्टेप एक आउटलाइन दिया गया है कि हाउ दिस बजट इज गोइंग टू अचीव द गोल ऑफ अमृतकाल। अमृतकाल मीन्स एक 75 ईयर्स ऑफ इंडिपेंडेंस होने वाला है, उसको हम कैसे अचीव करेंगे, हमारे क्या टारगेट्स होंगे। सो द फर्स्ट टारगेट इज गोइंग टू बी ग्रोथ एंड इंक्लूसिव वेलफेयर। Then the second target will be the development. किस टाइप का डेवलपमेंट होगा? वी आर लिविंग इन द 21st century. ओके, टेक्नोलॉजिकल स्टार्टअप्स हैव टेकन अ ड्राइविंग सीट इन द इकोनॉमी, सो इट विल बी टेक्नोलॉजी लेड डेवलपमेंट। देन जैसा कि हम जानते हैं कि अभी COP26 में इंडिया ने कमिट किया है दैट इंडिया विल बिकम net zero emission country by 2070. So definitely the focus is on energy transition and climate change. Energy transition का यहाँ पे मतलब है that we are making a transition from fossil fuel based energy to clean energy. The next is private investment crowded in by public investment. Crowded in का मतलब होता है कि first the government will make an investment in an economy which is called as public investment. Once the government starts making investment in the economy, then the private sector is motivated to invest in the economy. So that process is called as crowding in. Means now the private sector is coming back into the economy to invest. So that is the केस ओवर हियर. तो यहाँ पे क्या होगा कि पहले पब्लिक इन्वेस्टमेंट लीड करेगा इकोनॉमी में, उसके बाद प्राइवेट इन्वेस्टमेंट आएगा. जैसे कि हम जानते हैं कि इंडिया में अभी भी द प्राइवेट फाइनल कंजम्पशन एक्सपेंडिचर इज स्टिल बिलो द प्री कोविड-19 लेवल. इसका जो एक मेन रीज़न है बिकॉज ऑफ लॉस ऑफ जॉब. तो हम देखेंगे कि कोविड-19 पीरियड में अराउंड 1 करोड़ लॉस हुआ है जॉब का, एम्प्लॉयमेंट का. वेजेस हैज़ बीन रेड्यूस्ड. सो दैट बिकॉज ऑफ दैट देयर इज लैक ऑफ डिमांड इन द इकोनॉमी. दैट्स वाई देयर इज़ अ लैक ऑफ प्राइवेट इन्वेस्टमेंट. क्योंकि डिमांड नहीं है. तो उस डिमांड को हम कैसे बढ़ाएंगे? फर्स्ट द पब्लिक इन्वेस्टमेंट एंड आफ्टर दैट private investment. The next is the 4 priorities of the Union Budget 2022-23. So the 4 priorities of the Union Budget, like how we are going to achieve the goal of Amrit Kal, how we are going to achieve growth and inclusive development, how where the public investment will take place. This has been outlined in the 4 priorities of the Union Budget. So the first priority of the Union Budget is PM Gati Shakti. हम इसको पहले से पढ़ते आ रहे हैं, आपने हमारे आगे के वीडियोस में भी देखा होगा. सो पीएम गति शक्ति, इट इज़ एन इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम. इट इज़ द मल्टी मोडल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम. सो द गवर्नमेंट इज गोइंग टू इन्वेस्ट इन द इकोनॉमी इन पीएम गति शक्ति. इसके साथ साथ गवर्नमेंट ने एक ₹1 लाख करोड़ का फंड भी तैयार किया है दैट द स्टेट गवर्नमेंट कैन एक्सेस टू इम्प्लीमेंट द इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर प्रोजेक्ट अंडर पीएम गति शक्ति, डिजिटल इकोनॉमी एक्सेट्रा. द नेक्स्ट इज इंक्लूसिव डेवलपमेंट. इंक्लूसिव डेवलपमेंट मीन्स द गवर्नमेंट हैज़ द मोटो सबका साथ सबका विकास. सो इंक्लूसिव डेवलपमेंट मीन्स डेवलपमेंट फॉर ऑल. द डेवलपमेंट शुड नॉट बी skewed. So if you will just see during COVID-19 period, the India was witnessing K-shaped recovery. So in this K-shaped recovery, the technology-driven companies, they were growing, and sectors like construction, manufacturing, they all were witnessing a slowdown or negative growth. So if you will just see that we also have to bring this sector up, we have to push this. That's why one of the major announcement in this budget has been the extension of emergency credit guarantee line scheme for the MSME sector. Second is that for startups, the tax incentives has been extended by 1 year. The next is improving the productivity in the economy, improving the productivity of the people. Then sunrise opportunities. Sunrise opportunity मतलब जो emerging technologies हैं, emerging areas हैं, जहाँ पे डेवलपमेंट करने से हम बहुत आगे जा सकते हैं, हमें वहाँ पे इन्वेस्ट करना है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, रिसेंटली इंडिया हैज़ लॉन्च्ड अ सेमीकंडक्टर मिशन. So the motto of launching this semiconductor mission is that we want to become a leader in chip technology. Then energy transition and climate change. The next is financing the investment, mobilizing the finance to make investment in an economy. Now coming to the first is PM गति शक्ति. तो PM गति शक्ति में बजट ने 7 इंजन्स रिकॉग्नाइज किया है PM गति शक्ति का. ये 7 इंजन क्या है? ये 7 इंजन है रोड्स, रेलवेज, मास ट्रांसपोर्ट, पोर्ट्स, एयरपोर्ट्स, वाटरवेज एंड लॉजिस्टिक इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर. जैसे कि हम जानते हैं कि हमारा जो एक प्रायोरिटी है, द वन ऑफ द प्रायोरिटी ऑफ बजट इज प्रोडक्टिविटी एनहांसमेंट. सो प्रोडक्टिविटी एनहांसमेंट तभी होगा जब हम एफिशिएंट बनेंगे. तो हम एफिशिएंट कैसे बनेंगे? अगर हमने अपना लॉजिस्टिक इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर एफिशिएंट किया तो हमारी जो प्रोडक्टिविटी है पूरे ओवरऑल इकोनॉमी की वो काफ़ी बढ़ जाएगी। तो इसमें पीएम गति शक्ति का बहुत बड़ा रोल है। सो द 7 इंजन्स ऑफ पीएम गति शक्ति हैज़ बीन आउटलाइन where the government is going to make a massive investment to improve the productivity in Indian economy and to improve the logistic infrastructure in the country. Now one more important thing is कि अगर हम logistic cost देखेंगे इंडिया का, so it is around 13 to 14% of GDP. बट अगर हम डेवलप कंट्री की बात करते हैं तो वहाँ पे जो logistic cost होता है it is only 8% of GDP. So lower the logistic cost, greater the efficiency of the economy. So India is aiming to bring down the logistic cost at par with the international standard. The next is there will be a national master plan created for world-class infrastructure in India. Then national highways in 2020-22-23, the target is to complete 25,000 kilometers of national highways in India. The next is introducing 400 new generation Vande Bharat Express. ओके, सो वंदे भारत एक्सप्रेस 400 न्यू जनरेशन के ऐड किए जाएंगे. नाउ टू इम्प्रूव द सप्लाई चेन इन इंडियन इकोनॉमी, 1 नेशन 1 प्रोडक्ट स्कीम विल बी लॉन्च्ड. So over here new scheme will be launched, that is 1 station 1 product. So 1 station 1 product, इसमें क्या होगा 1 station 1 product में कि स्टेशन को हम इस तरीके से डेवलप करेंगे that to make the supply of 1 product which may be famous in that area, उसकी जो सप्लाई है वो उसकी सप्लाई चेन को इंटीग्रेट करना पूरे नेशन के सप्लाई चेन के साथ. सो here the improvement will be, the focus will be on improving the supply chain. अगर COVID-19, if you will just see the one of the impact of COVID-19 is disruption of supply chain. ओके, इस डिसरप्शन ऑफ सप्लाई चेन की वजह से क्या हुआ, द इनपुट कॉस्ट इंक्रीज्ड. फॉर एग्जांपल इफ यू मस्ट हैव सीन द ऑटोमोबाइल सेक्टर वाज रीलिंग अंडर द राइजिंग इनपुट कॉस्ट. सो इस इनपुट कॉस्ट की वजह से क्या होता है कि द प्राइस इंक्रीजेज, देयर इज एन इन्फ्लेशन. सो इफ वी फोकस ऑन सप्लाई चेन, दैट इज थ्रू 1 station 1 product scheme, so the input cost will reduce. Then the next is development of national roadways development plan as an alternative to रोडवेज. जैसा कि हम जानते हैं कि वन ऑफ द फोकस एरिया, प्रायोरिटी एरिया ऑफ दिस बजट इज एनर्जी ट्रांजिशन एंड क्लाइमेट ऑल्सो. सो रोडवेज विल बी डेवलप्ड एज एन अल्टरनेटिव टू रोडवेज. द नेक्स्ट इज अबाउट एग्रीकल्चर एंड फूड प्रोसेसिंग. सो वी ऑलरेडी नो दैट फूड प्रोसेसिंग इज वन ऑफ द सनराइज सेक्टर इन इंडिया. फूड प्रोसेसिंग इज द सनराइज सेक्टर इन इंडिया. Okay, and it is also covered under PLI scheme, product linked incentive schemes. So the focus is on food processing also. Along with that, there will be promotion of chemical free natural farming. It is also called as zero budget natural farming. Zero budget natural farming. Zero budget natural farming, it is an alternative to green revolution. Now if we just compare the zero budget natural farming and green revolution, so we will see कि green revolution is chemical based. Okay, so the cost of production is higher in green revolution. Also the environmental degradation in green revolution is higher. So what is happening, the profitability of farmers over the long period of time is decreasing. But the zero budget natural farming, it replaces the chemical based farming with the natural farming. So if farmer they make a transition towards natural farming, definitely the input cost of the farmers will reduce and we can achieve the target of zero budget. The next is use of technology for helping farmers. So Kisan drones will be used to help farmers. What will be the use of Kisan drone? The Kisan drone can be used for application of fertilizers, pesticides, assessment of land, assessment of damage to land during disaster, or for farm insurance, etc. We will use, the government will promote the use of Kisan drone. The next is education. So two important factors which has been announced in education is, the first is establishment of digital university. So a digital university will be established. It will facilitate world-class quality universal education. Now, if we remember the report released by Pratham NGO, that is called as ASER report, in that one of the important point to remember is that during lockdown, COVID-19 lockdown, only 25% of the school going children had access to online classes. Okay, so because of this digital divide, much of the students, they didn't have access to online classes and their education suffered. The learning outcomes suffered in the country. So the digital university will try to create world-class quality universal education for all. Then there will be Desh Tech e-portal, that is digital ecosystem for skilling and livelihood. It will aim to promote online training in the country. The next is health. So one of the important thing is to remember is that during COVID-19 and lockdown, many people, they suffered from mental health. Their mental health deteriorated. So in response to that, the government has launched National Tele-Mental Health Program to facilitate quality counseling and medical assistance to those who need counseling during the COVID-19 or those who are suffering from mental health problem. Next will be National Digital Health Ecosystem will be rolled out, and the 2 lakh Anganwadis in the country, they will be upgraded to Saksham Anganwadis. The other important measures are that the first is PM Divine. PM Divine is the program for infrastructure and social development in Northeast region. So Northeast region, which are hilly and inaccessible region, they have not enjoyed the fruit of development of India. So now a scheme has been formulated for infrastructure and social development in the Northeast region. The next is for the border villages in the country, especially in the northern borders. A new holistic program has been announced in the union budget, that is called as Vibrant Village Program, which will focus on the all-round development of village, from creating infrastructure, roads, school, digital connectivity. Everything will be taken care of the border villages in the Vibrant Village Program, and the special focus will be on the northern border. The next is related to financial inclusion. So the next important proposal which has been announced is that all post offices, they will come under core banking solutions, that is called as CBS. So they will be now part of formal banking system. The next is to promote the speedy insolvency and bankruptcy resolution in the country. The government has already passed the bankruptcy code. Then National Asset Reconstruction Company Limited has already been established. Now the budget has announced the establishment of CPACE, which will promote faster and accelerated winding up of companies. The next is providing a battery swapping policy for charging stations in urban areas. So in order to promote adoption of electric vehicles in the country, so the Department of Heavy Industries has already launched a program which is called as FAME, Faster Adoption and Manufacturing of Electric Vehicles in India. It is currently under phase 2. Now the budget has announced a new policy which is called as battery swapping policy for charging stations in urban areas. Now what is the battery swapping policy? Suppose you are driving an electric vehicle in an urban area and your battery ends up, so you can go to a battery swapping station. You can swap your discharged battery with a charged battery and you can continue with your journey. So this will facilitate the faster adoption of electric vehicles in the country. What is the second benefit of the battery swapping policy? Since the battery swapping policy will facilitate the faster adoption of electric vehicles, so it will lead to reduced carbon emission in the country. The next is introduction of digital rupee by RBI in 2022-23. So friends, I hope you remember the government has passed a cryptocurrency bill. So the aim of this cryptocurrency bill is twofold. First, that to prevent private cryptocurrencies to operate in India. That is the first important information. And the second, to facilitate RBI to release central bank digital currency based on blockchain technology. So RBI is going to introduce this central bank digital currency, which will be called as digital rupee in 2022-23. Then the infrastructure status has been guaranteed to data centers and energy storage system. The next is the government is going to introduce sovereign green bonds. Through these sovereign green bonds, the government is going to mobilize funds for investment in energy friendly sectors and construction of green buildings. The next is the tax proposals. So in tax proposals, three important proposals has been made, which is important from the exam point of view. The first is the updated return. So the taxpayers, they will be provided with the new option, that is updated returns. So if taxpayers, they have made any errors in filing of their ITR in last 2 years, they can avail this option that is called as updated returns for correcting their errors in filing the tax return within 2 years. The second is that the transfer of virtual assets will be taxed at 30%. Virtual assets like cryptocurrencies and non-fungible token. Cryptocurrencies and non-fungible tokens. These are the cryptocurrencies. So the capital gain made on the transfer of this virtual asset, that now that will be taxed at 30% in India. Then alternate minimum tax on cooperatives will be reduced to 15% from earlier 18.5%. So earlier in April-May 2021, new ministry was created, that is called as Ministry of Cooperation. It is headed by Shri Amit Shah, who is the incumbent Home Minister. Now this cooperatives, earlier the alternate minimum tax were 18.5%. Now it has been reduced to 15%. Now if you will just see the there are two terms which is very important to understand. One is alternate minimum tax and the next is minimum alternative tax. So we have to understand the difference between the two. So let's first understand what is minimum alternative tax. Now the minimum alternative tax is the minimum tax to be paid by any corporate entity which has seek exemptions from paying taxes. For example, suppose there is an industry A, okay, and it has seek exemptions from paying tax and it is paying zero tax, means it is not liable to pay any tax to the government. Then also the government will impose minimum alternate tax or minimum alternative tax on company A to pay the tax. Now this minimum alternate tax, if it is imposed on corporate entities, then it is called as MAT or minimum alternate tax. When it is imposed on non-corporate entities, then it is called as alternate minimum tax. So friends, please remember, minimum alternate tax is imposed upon corporate entities and alternate minimum tax on non-corporate entities. So cooperatives are based on cooperatives, they pay alternate minimum tax, they don't pay minimum alternate tax. So there is a conceptual difference over here. So the minimum alternate tax on corporate entities were 15%, but on cooperatives it was 18.5%. So there was no level playing field between corporate entities and cooperatives. Now after the setting up of Ministry of Cooperation, the government aims to promote the cooperative model of economic development in the country, and to promote the level playing field between the corporate and cooperatives, the alternate minimum tax has been reduced to 15%. The next is some of the information, some of the things which we must know about the budget, some of the interesting things. The first is that from where the term budget has been derived. So as you can see, my friend, the term budget has been derived from the French word baguette. Now what is the meaning of baguette? Baguette means little bag. Now what is the timeline of the union budget in India? So we will see the first budget was introduced in India in year 1860. Then at that point of time, the railway budget and the general budget were presented in the same budget. But in 1924, for the first time, the railway budget was separated from the general budget. It was based on the recommendation of Ackworth Committee. Now this tradition continued from 1924 to 2016. But in 2017, the railway budget was again merged with general budget. The next is the first budget of independent India was presented on 26 November 1947, but it did not introduce any tax proposal. Then late Indira Gandhi is the first woman to present the budget in independent India. Then late Morarji Desai, he has presented the most number of budget in India. In total, he has presented 10 budget in the parliament. Earlier, the timings of the budgets were based on British convention. The budgets were presented at 5 p.m. and that also on the last day of February. Now, Shri Yashwant Sinha, when he was the finance minister, he changed the timing of presenting the budget in parliament from 5 p.m. to 11 a.m. in the morning. Also, later in 2017, the day for presentation of budget was changed from the last day of February to the first day of February. So friends, hope you must have enjoyed this video. Please do comment about the videos, and do comment if you want to ask something related to the Union Budget 2022-23. Hope you have a good time. Have a nice day. Thank you.